Okay, good. I was thinking casting Bless, but it seems time changes.
Enemy approaching.
Serves you right.
Let us strike as one! Do not falter!
This should do it.
Hypnotize. Oh yeah, he's still in the pool. Nice. Let's take all of this because we have a merchant literally next to us who could buy it all. So. Oleg is breathing heavily, but he shakes his fist in the air menacingly. You rats got what you deserve now. They'll know better than to treat honest people like cattle. We should call Botkin out before he freezes in those bushes. Now, my lord, head up in the guest rooms on the second floor. You deserve rest after such a battle. I need to clean things up. And this is for your efforts. Now, don't offend me by trying to turn it down. Just take it. An honest fight deserves honest reward. And if you were if that were more common practice in the world, I think life would be so much better. 600 coins. Svetlana. Glad it's over, even if there was a fight. We'll talk tomorrow when I'm done working.
It's just not my lucky day.
F in the chat. All my personal stash stuff. Okay, I'm gonna deposit stuff in the chat stash. Obviously, this food, books. I think that's about it. Put this down here. Oops, I can't because. Look, a cat. All right, now let's go to bed. Time passes, 8 hours and 38 minutes. You wake up from a nasty dream that has tortured you almost all night long. In it, you saw a wall of unnaturally thick fog that surrounded you, slowly moving closer and closer. A quick look out the window and you find the fog was not a figment of your imagination, not a dream. And then...
Hear me. Please hear me.
Guardian of the Bloom.
Can you hear me? Please.
The half-transparent outline of a beautiful nymph appears before you. Even in this ghostly forms, it's clear she's exhausted. Her shoulders are slouched. Her large blue eyes burn within her pale face. Hear me. Please hear me. Can you hear me? Please. Her voice is barely more than a whisper as she reaches towards you. It only seems that you can see or hear the nymph. I'm glad my adventure begins with such a beautiful sight.
Beauty is so tender. It can so easily be crushed under the blows of cruel fate. But you can save it from being undone.
Sparks light up and fade in the nymph's huge eyes. Who are you?
Who am I? Just a tear shed by the land itself. The bitter sigh of nature. I am a nymph, the guardian of this area. A defeated guardian. Call me the guardian of the bloom, if you wish.
What do you want from me?
Aid, salvation. We have a common enemy, and long have I searched for someone who can defeat him. The one you call the Stag Lord. As a storm strikes ruthlessly with gusts and lightning, the Stag Lord wreaks havoc with the swords of his servants. And not just in the world of people. The land also suffers from the evil he brings. My forests and my flowers suffocate in this fog. Soon, even I will vanish, as the last ray of light fades at dusk.
The Stag Lord is responsible for the fog?
Yes, it hides his fortress as well as his dark deeds. But while responsible, he did not create this affliction. It is the work of a powerful druid who has betrayed even himself. I know not why the powers did not leave this renegade, but even I was unable to defeat him.
How can I help you?
This fog, it enshrouds, entangles, suffocates. If only I could learn how it was created. But my powers wane. I have barely the strength to call out to you. All I know for certain is that somewhere in this forest lies an old house, and it echoes with the remnants of a strange power. The Stag Lord and his druid were there. The fog hides this place from me, but I can point you to the bandits' camp near the Thornford. Make them tell you where this place is. Go there and listen to the echo, catch the whispers, search for anything that can tell you how the fog was created. Once the fog clears, nature will breathe again, and you will be able to easily find your way to the fortress of our mutual enemy.
All right, I understand. Farewell.
I don't believe in fate, stranger, but our meeting seems more than a coincidence.
The nymph's whisper fades as she disappears. Set off to Thornford. There are no threats in this location. This is a headquarters. I'm sad because I'm pretty sure this is locked, right? Yeah, and I can't pick locks, so I'll never be able to open it. Yeah, Honorial 8 Eyes, you could buy NPCs from her. So as I mentioned, if you didn't level up when we got to level 2 and spend 2,000 gold, I believe it is, you could buy an NPC from, or 500 gold, I believe, you could buy an NPC from her to basically be a party member. Honorial 8 Eyes, the elves look straight at you through tangled hair falling over her face. Hey, you're an adventurer, right? Seeking your fortune in stolen lands? Well, aren't the only one of your kind here. Take my advice, keep your eyes open, and watch your back. Sometimes the ones who call themselves your friends are more dangerous than your enemies. Judging by the elf's voice, it's obvious that she started the day with a jug of wine. Who are you? The elf grunts. Honorial 8 Eyes. Once upon a time, I was a famous through Absalom. Honorium 8 Eyes, or the Reckless Six. Well, glories pass quickly. A few miserable decades later, and no one recognizes you on the street anymore. What a shame. What are you doing here? I sit here waiting for adventurers who are in need of help. We may be sitting here in a backwoods tavern, but in Absalom, I have a lot of friends who are eager to make a few coins. They have brave hearts but shallow pockets. A little gold will welcome a change for them. I can send them a message and they will come from Aslam through a portal. If you're interested, give me a sign and we'll arrange everything right away. So yeah, I need loyal and experienced fighters. 2,000 gold because we're level 2, 500 gold if you're level 1. I have friends just like that. Decide and it'll come exactly to the single. Let me think about it. I'd like to use the tutor services of the Pathfinder Society. Certainly, as promised, the first 3 times you request training, Pathfinder Societies will work for free, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so you could also respec at her. Why are you called 8 Eyes? Once long ago, I could spot an enemy and pin him to the wall before he could think about attacking. Some said I had 8 eyes and look all around at once, though it seems I outlived my nickname. Honorial stretches his arm forward, her palm trembles noticeably. I'm drinking too much lately, so it's best I don't test my skills too often. Where were you when the trading post was attacked? I was hunting, got lost in the mist, which is the first time it's happened to me. I guess I should go easier on the drink, but you don't imagine I'd be scared of a good fight. If only I'd known I was missing on the action, but I see you got everything under control. Would you like to join me? No. I got enough things to do already. You would manage better on your own. A famous Pathfinder in the middle of nowhere. Here in the middle of nowhere? Why? You want to know how one could change the life of the Pathfinder Society for this sorry drunken rat hole? The light in Honoriel's eyes goes out as someone had blown out a candle. You lose all your friends because of one scumbag. Then you'll understand. I was the only one to return from a final campaign of the Reckless Six. And what's left of me? I can't be called Seeker anymore. Honoriel remains silent for a long time, as if wondering if she wishes to poke an old wound. Here's the story. Our leader, Vermelt, was the best of us. Wise, brave. Friends to everyone. One of those friends, Advinian Edrissant, sent him a disturbing letter. He stumbled upon mention as an ancient book on the art of necromancy. Secrets like those are best left hidden forever. Trust me, I've seen what that kind of magic can do. The elf bites her lip. To make a long story short, those volumes were supposedly hidden in the catacombs of Gallowspire. We decided the books should be retrieved and kept safe by the society. We gathered at a tavern, discussed our expedition, and then proceeded to Ustalav. It was a normal mission, quick and quiet, recovery. Honoriel smiles bitterly, but everything turned out to be much more complicated. We barely made it through the Witchgale Forest, all those terrible living trees, undead druids, and their arches of bones. It was a miracle we managed to make it out alive. We chose an Renchurch to stop at. It was marked on Vermalt's map as a safe enough haven to hole up and lick our wounds. Wish that had been true. Vermelt was the first to perish. He was attacked by one of the monsters hiding in the stables. It tossed him like a feather and threw him through the ancient well. His shout echoed for a long time. I didn't hear the sound of him landing. And then Honoriel pauses and turns her away, hiding her eyes. Enough. I shouldn't have gotten into this. Who am I to stir up old feelings with all my chatter? We'd better forget about it now. Maybe I'll tell you some other time, but not today. Want to know more about the Pathfinder Society? Exactly what are you interested in? What's the purpose of the society? It's a school of adventurers. We search for those who are eager to test their skills, and we educate them and give them ideas on about where on Golarion they might seek their fortune. They look for forgotten knowledge, secrets, and lost artifacts. They're explorers and pathfinders. We're sort of a mutual assistance club for adventure lovers. We exchange experience and share knowledge. Keep careful records in case it proves useful for future expeditions. And also, we publish books for thrill seekers and bored urban teenagers from wealthy families. What kind of members does the society have? All sorts of adventurers. We represent all races, religions, and beliefs. The Grand Lodge in Absalon is in Absalon, but there are many small lodges all throughout Golarion. And venture captains direct pathfinders to their goal and from across all the corners of the world. There are many renowned heroes in this society, and many scoundrels as well. Those who serve society have brought them fame. Who does the society support? I mean, who does it serve? No one in particular. Pathfinders not to get involved in quarrels of others. They only serve the spirit of adventure. Sometimes they happen to save the world. However, that doesn't mean there's no black sheep among the seekers. We'll talk about this later. Regarding your story. And then, yeah, you could recap, each bit of her story. Svetlana. Good day. I hope you're feeling all right after battle. I can't thank you enough for what you've done. I definitely don't want to waste your time, but if you have a moment, I have a request. What did you want to ask of me? Svetlana lowers her head. This is a very personal request, and maybe not important enough for your time. I'll completely understand if you say no, but the first time the Stag Lord's thug came here demanding money, they also took my wedding ring. Just tore off my hand. It's a trinket, really, but it meant so much to me. Remember the moment of the day Oleg came to me, a ring in hand, asked if I'd marry him. I was standing in a fancy dress on the stairs of my father's home, fearing I misheard something, or if I'd say something stupid and everyone laugh around me. Svetlana interrupts herself, shaking her head gently. If you happen to find my ring among the bandits' possession, please bring it back to me. It's easily recognized. My name is engraved inside the band. Svetlana drops her eyes, lowering her voice. There's one more thing. Among the bandit, there's a dark-haired woman who wields dual axes. She's not a bad in a fight. In fact, she could be extremely dangerous and cruel. But please, I beg you, show her mercy if you have a chance. I'd be happy to help you, Svetlana. Svetlana nods. I'm so grateful for your help. Tell me about yourself. How did you and your husband find courage enough to establish a trading post in the Stolen Lands? It was Oleg's idea, though I supported him through it. We didn't realize how dangerous it was here, of course. In Restov, everyone respects the Sword Lords, and everyone is accustomed to relying on them. Even the mention of someone like Lady Jemani could fend off a street thug or some other trouble. It could maybe even work in some places here, but not with the Stag Lord's men. What can you tell me about the Stag Lord? He's not just some average bandit who if no one puts a stop to him, he'll turn the Stolen Lands into his own personal kingdom, a kingdom of fear and oppression. I like adventures, but I definitely prefer ones that involve stopping villains and helping people. Can't thank you enough for hope you've given me, but please be careful. The Stag Lord is extremely dangerous. I have to go. Oh boy. Quest. Linzi, a halfling girl with tousled hair wearing dusty traveler's outfit. She chews on the tip of her quill. Just a moment. How should I put this? Oh, I know. She scribbles something quickly in her notebook, scrawled with verse, raises her eyes, and gives you a bright smile. Oh, hi. Tell me about yourself. What do you want to know? Where are you from? I'm from all over. I was actually born in Galt, such a tiny village that not even on the maps. If it weren't for my teacher, I'd still be living there, milking cows, weeding turnips, swilling homebrew, having babies, using only books as kindling. Who was your teacher? He's a true saint. He was the one most important person in the capital, at the Church of Shaylin, but he got in trouble with the authorities and went on a self-imposed exile. The tiniest, most god-forsaken, priestless village you could ever find, the one where I was born. He wanted to open a school, but the villagers wouldn't let him. You could heal us all you like, but no putting any ideas in our children's head and only distract them from their work. But he did teach me on the sly and taught me how to read, how to write, gave me books, poems, legends. He was the one who told me about the Arch Knights of Avistan. When I told him I was going on a journey, he gave me a magical ring so that Shaylin would protect me from harm. I haven't seen him since I ran away from home. Hope he's alright. I ask Shaylin every day to grant him a long life and new students. Archknights of Avistan, who are they? Oh, you haven't heard of them? How could he be a hero without knowing the most epic stories in the history of stories? No, I won't spoil anything. You should read about them yourselves. Every single chapter. Their adventures are what gave me an idea of going on a heroic quest and writing about it to begin with. Now look at me, here I am, on a heroic quest. How did you become a bard? When I realized there was nothing for me at home besides radish patches, I decided to run away. A traveling book peddler, Tessie the Quill, happened upon our village. Well, I stuck to her like a burr and wouldn't let go until she agreed to take me as an apprentice. Together we traveled everywhere, to Brevoy and Taldor, to even Utslav. And then I found out about the Academy of Grand Arts in Patax, and I thought, well, I love reading stories, and I surely can write. I learned to write from them too. I enrolled on my first try, and they even gave me a scholarship. And then they expelled me. But that's okay. They already taught me all the important stuff. Now with Shaylin's help, I can even manage on my own. Here, I'm just gonna show off these just so you guys can read them. Do you worship Shaylin? Yes, not to offend the other gods, but she's the most important of them all. All other gods guard the world as it is, but the eternal Rose, the goddess of beauty, calls us to the world as it should be. Why are your clothes so messy? Linzi waves her hand carelessly. Forget it. I can't waste money on looks. I'd rather buy books instead. In 100 years, when people are reading my works, they're not going to ask whether the author had holes in her sleeves. Let me ask you something else. Come from Patax, right? Tell me about it. Oh, I love Patax. Even though they kicked me out, a joyful place. What is life in Patax like? Actually, Patax has always been one of the hugest nests of thieves, bandits, river pirates, smugglers, fences, card sharps. It's always been like a home for the likes for them, but that was before Irveti became king. With him, a whole different life began there. Irveti always wanted to make history, but not as a bandit with a crown, though that's exactly what he is. He wanted to be glorified through the centuries as a great patron of the arts, so he built the Academy of Grand Arts and spent a lot of gold to assemble the best artists, poets, and musicians. Of course, the very best refused to go, but he got what he wanted in a way. If Patax was just a booze barn for thieves. Now it's a cabaret. What do you know of King Yurvedi? He won his crown in a game of cards, which is to say much about a Patax as it does about him. He's a fiendishly clever. Some cheats I know told me from the moment he appeared he started pulling off such schemes that the old city masters just scratched their heads. With him in charge, gold flooded into Patax, and also, he's incredibly, unimaginably, fantastically decadent and conceited. Getting drunk with whores in the pub, that's not Lord Ovedi's style. Oh no, he aims higher, dressing up as a male Callistra with a golden codpiece, holding 3-week orgy, dancing on the rooftops, parades, public execution, and a contest for the best ode of the great unrivaled king. That's more like it. He also likes singing. He and the guards used to make citizens. He used to make the guards gather citizens for his show. May Shaylin have mercy on his listeners. Tell me about the academy you studied at. You know, jokes aside, I'm thankful for Irvadi for building it, but he has no taste at all whatsoever. He's like he likes his art loud, bright, and grandiose, and most importantly, glorifying to his royal highness. He kicked out the best charcoal artist because he didn't wish to spend money on gray scribbles. He sacked a masterful flute player from Tainzia for playing too quietly, and instead ordered them to open a kettle drum class. He even ordered the academy to expel me. For what? An innocent limerick. Would you go back to the academy and finish your studies? I'd like to return, but on one condition. If they threw out 3/4 of the professors who teach there, and return all the ones they banished, if you ask me, I'm proud to have been expelled. If my art was to Irvedi's liking, then I would have reason to be ashamed. As long as the mediocre lickspittles sit in the academy, those with real talents beg on the streets of Patax, I will not cross the threshold of that place. Of course, please. Tell me about the book you're writing. What's there to tell? You see some of the rough drafts already, haven't you? It's a book about you and your ventures. I've been writing the whole truth just as it happened. Well, the whole artistic truth. You know, no glory, no story. Why are you writing it? What's the point? When I was in the academy, Echobald the Insightful began his literature course with the question, what is a person? And he answered, a person is a storytelling animal. Our world does not consist of things, all these woods, seas, and cities. It consists of stories about these things, stories that we tell ourselves and to each other. Just think about it. Centuries will pass and there will be no me and you. All your subjects will be long gone, but you and I will live in the people's memories, influenced by their deeds, thanks to this very book. No offense, but your command of language is not that good. Truth doesn't hurt me. Who do you think is my most severe critic is? That's right, it's me. This is my first real book, and I have much yet to learn. But don't you worry, I will do your feats justice. If I put my foot in my mouth here and there, we could print a second edition, revised and corrected. Your book is full of inconsistencies. Well, yes, I can admit that. Sometimes one has to bend a few details for the sake of dramatic effect. It's called a poetic truth. I write everything as I saw it with my own eyes, even the parts of the adventure that I wasn't around for. But I do always carefully question everyone who's with you at the time. Think of it as a general picture. In the end, you're the hero of this book, and I'm just a storyteller. What kind of character am I? Truth be told, I was a little afraid of meeting a real hero. In the books, they're all protectors of weak and poor, but what about real life? But you ease all my fears with 2 shakes of the tail. You're a true hero, just like the legends. My new fear is that in 100 years, you just say you never existed. But I'm writing the truth. Sometimes you follow the rules, and sometimes you make up your own. Your actions are hard to predict. What makes you so interesting to write about? How do you feel about reading your work in progress? Well, these are only drafts, but of course you're welcome to read them. And just to keep in mind, if you don't like what I write about, I won't change a single letter, so don't ask. Of course, it is a book about you, but it's my book, understood? Small writer's eye glows rebelliously. As long as you write the truth, write whatever you wish, write where you wish, if it's right. I will be remembered for my deeds, not your book. No, that's kind of dickish. Write whatever you wish. I doubt you'll defame me, or for that matter, overpraise. Thank you for your trust. I will not set out to please you, of course, but I hope you still like my book as much as my other readers. Tell me about your friendship with Tessie the Quill. What's there to say? The book's woke my urge to travel, but it's only thanks to Tessie that I managed to get out of my village. At first, Tessie tried to feign to get rid of me, but later, when I told her I was staying in Patak, she even shed a tear. Wonder where she is now. What's the deal with the ring you wear? Ring you always wear on your finger. Ah, this. Linzi holds out her arm to get a clearer view of the ring. It's a gift from my first teacher. It's magical, imbued with the power of Shilin, no less. When I get myself in trouble, it transports me to a safe spot. So please don't be angry with me if I suddenly disappear from a fight. I'll wait for you here, I promise. Alright, I have to go. Just don't leave without me. Of course, I could just write whatever you tell me, but if I wanted to stay cooped up in a dusty room, I'd be sleeping through the lectures at the academy. So yeah, Linzi has a ring that when she dies, like the actual status known as death, she actually just gets teleported away because she's that important. Because she's the story keeper. All of this is Linzi's. Like, if you read it out, it's basically written from Linzi's perspective. But it's basically your quest journal. Will fail in 88 days and 6 hours. Stunning barrier, shield of faith. Which I don't think stacks with rings of protection, from what Wrath of the Righteous tells me. Okay. Enhancement bonus to con, saving throws against disease and fatigue. Give me some con. Expert hat. Says I don't have a spellcaster that really could use this, but I guess put it to Linzi. Cast color spray. Was the worst saving throws? Well, it kind of looks like Valerie does. Take off that backpack. I don't like the backpack. I don't know why, but I just don't like the backpack. Mary's is nice though. Like, look at that. It has like a hunting horn and whatever. Okay. How much gold do I have? 1,200. Gonna go sell this stuff to Oleg. Greetings. Oleg seems to be in a good mood and greets you warmly. You certainly ruffled those villains' feathers. Well, anyway, new day, new troubles. Have you seen the fog? Never seen anything like it before. The road to Restov looks somewhat like someone spilled milk and just hung it in the air. Couldn't see anything through that soup. Not even with a torch. Feels like witchcraft to me. I bet the Stag Lord's involved somehow. Rumor says he deals with all kinds of bad magic. Show me your wares. Nothing's too good for good people. Oh, I also had a blessed signet. Actually, I'm gonna keep the heavy crossbow. I'm going to give it to Linzi, but I'm going to wait until she has a little bit more strength. Actually, I don't know if... Maybe she could wield it now. Give me back my potato. I don't need composite longbows at the moment due to the fact that the companion I'm going to be joining that could use bows, I generally give them short bows. Generally. Ding. Okay. Put that here. Put the Blessed Signet on Valerie for now. Give her the ability to give us Bless. I have Bless, but, you know. Best to not put all your eggs in the one basket, right? Tell me about yourself. Why open a trading post in such a dangerous place? I just dislike the noise. Oleg answers reluctantly. I'm from Restov. Cities are complicated. Lots of people. And each of their places on the shelf. Bow before this one, fear the other. Don't do business with the third, but be sure to extra through the fourth. And the villages are a little better. Everyone likes to stick up their nose in each other's business. I just wanted a place where I could be my own master, so I ended up here. I need to take care of the Stag Lord. Do you know anything that could help me find him? That's quite the task you set yourself on. The Stag Lord has a fortress somewhere in the area, but only a few chosen, most trusted of his rabble have ever invited. The location of the fortress is a heavily guarded secret, and with the fog hanging around, I'd imagine it'd be even harder to find. I suppose you could try to follow the trail of those bandits who attacked the post before. They came from the southwest, from the side of Thorn River. The fortress might be there, or at least some large camp of theirs where you could find information. Or you could tell me about the Stag Lord. Not much. Not like I sat down and shared a cup of wine with the man, you know. But I think he arrived in Stolen Lands less than a year ago, from what I heard. But as soon as he got here, he took everything. He took over everything. I wrote to Restov to warn them the Stag Lord wasn't a typical gang. They didn't listen. The rumors about him are horrible. He'll kill a person if they just so much as disagree with him. He never reveals his face. Those who've seen him up close report the same thing. Ugly scars over every inch of his skin, not covered by his clothes. The Stag Lord's past is a mystery. He just arrived one day. He was immediately power to be reckoned with. I guess it's the most surprising thing about him is that he has many followers who admire him, as he has minions who obey him out of fear. He's got some inner strength in him, or maybe an inner madness. There are many who seem to follow him because of that madness, like it was some sort of virtue. I'll speak to you some other time. Farewell. Alright, well, I'm going to end the episode right there, so I'd like to thank you all for watching. Stick around for next episode of the Corner Session Thingy, and I shall see you then. Bye-bye!